worldwide influence of English on areas such as education and industry are undeniable. However, a number of varieties exist, which must be catered to in order to appeal to local preferences. This report will focus on the preferences for British or American English within Western Europe. Is the geographic proximity to Britain enough to motivate a preference for British English, or has the presence of American culture on post-World War II Europe been enough to influence the use of a more Americanized English? Knowledge of any preference for a particular language variety would be of value to a number of groups. For example, marketing companies who wish to tailor a campaign toward a particular language preference. This report will demonstrate the way in which corpus-based data mining and text analysis can be of use in scenarios such as these. The results of the following investigation may also be of interest to the readers of the Journal of English as an International Language, since the journal studies the structure and development of English across the globe, and in particular its relationship to and effects on cultures and other languages, and we hope to demonstrate the useful nature of data mining in areas of study like those mentioned.
The influence of American culture upon the European mainland since the end of World War II was unquestionable, with an influx of American television programs, films and music that are widely consumed by European audiences. However, British English is also frequently encountered since the proximity of Western Europe and Britain means that trade between the two occurs frequently, and tourists and holidaymakers regularly visit their neighbouring regions. However, we believe the presence of American culture to be more of an authority upon the variety of preference of Western Europe. After all, even the language of native British English speakers experience some of this influence.
In order to investigate the variety preferences of Western Europe, we first had to choose a European subset to study that could be identified as being a representative of this area. As such, the countries France, Spain and Germany were chosen, partly for their geographical proximity to Britain and popularity with British holidaymakers, but also for their notable participation in Western culture, and as such are likely to be subject to any American influence. We then had to decide upon a way in which either language variety could be identified. This involved finding features that would mark out a piece as belonging to either British or American English, and which could be detected by data mining. To do this, we consulted the Wikipedia entry on American and British spelling differences, and consulted the word frequency list of the 200,000 word corpus of UK and US web pages, and settled upon the words behaviour and defence as lexical items that could be subject to data mining and that would indicate the variety preferred.
Feature values for both behaviour and defence were then extracted from the word frequency lists for each of the US and UK corpora.
This provided us with the frequency of appearance in each corpus of our marker words, and also allowed us to calculate the percentage frequency of the US feature in each corpus.
From this, we were then able to come up with a decision procedure which our French, Spanish and German could be tested with, in order to decide which variety of English each region preferred.
We then had to gather data from the www corpus of each of our selected regions. This was done by accessing the word frequency list of each corpus
and searching for the occurrences of each of our chosen words.
The results of this were then tabulated in the same way as those from the UK and US corpora.
These results could then be subject to our decision tree tests.
The results of the decision tree testing showed there to be an apparent greater preference for US English amongst our sample countries, with a US preference identified 50% or more of the time.
However, it appears that this testing throws up some inconclusive results, since one test would identify a country as preferring one variety, where another test for a different word would suggest the opposite, as shown here. This could be explained, however, by suggesting that there is no clear preference for either variety of English for this region. None of the selected European regions show the same level of distinction between the varieties as can be seen when comparing the US and UK corpora.
It may be for reasons of national identity that neither US nor British English was shown as having an outright preference in Western Europe. The influence of these two language varieties is well documented, and as such there may be a conscious effort made by Europeans to limit this influence in restricting the appearance of notably British or American language features. In order to test this more rigorously, however, it may be worth analysing much larger European corpora, since 200,000 words is a comparatively small sample. We hope to have demonstrated how, through the use of corpus-based data mining and text analysis, large amounts of data can be quickly and efficiently examined to provide empirical evidence that can be used to back up theoretical ideas on language variety preferences in a particular region, and how it may be possible to then apply these results practically in, for example, a commercial capacity.